Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to deal with John Donne's poem, that is Go and Catch a Falling Star. John Donne was born in 1572 and died in 1631. Means he was born in Elizabethan era, and this poem, that is Go and Catch a Falling Star, was written during Jacobean age, that is the time when King James I was ruling in England from 1603 to 1625. John Donne is particularly famous for his mastery in metaphysical conceits. And interestingly, John Donne himself is known as the father of metaphysical school. Metaphysical poetry makes a far stretched or difficult or not easy to believe comparison between two things. And the poem that we are going to deal today is the best example of this technique. This poem was published posthumously, that is in 1633, in the collection entitled as Songs and Sonnets. जब ये पोएम पहली बार लिखी गई थी, at that time it was entitled simply as Song. Later it was identified by its first line, that is Go and Catch a Falling Star. You can see John Donne's misogynistic attitude in this poem. Throughout the poem, we find that John Donne is expressing the fickleness of a fair woman. John Donne tried to prove his point that inconsistency of a fair woman throughout the poem. This poem is written in trochaic tetrameter, punctuated by iambic monometer. The first stanza of the poem talks about 7 impossible tasks. So let's begin with the poem. The poem reads like, Go and catch a falling star, get with child a mandrake root. Tell me where all past years are, or who cleft the devil's foot. Teach me the hear mermaid singing, or to keep off envy stinging, and find what wind serves to advance an honest mind. So in line 1, we find the first impossible task, that is to go and catch a falling star. Is it possible for a human to catch a falling star? No, it is not. Even if a man attempts to catch a falling star, then it could be proven as very destructive for that man. That man can even die in that process. In line 1, we see that a beautiful lady is compared to a falling star. And here Donne is saying that a beautiful woman can cause to man destruction. So hyperbole is used in this line, that is go and catch a falling star. Then the second line is get with child a mandrake root. Mandrake root, as you can see in the picture on the screen, mandrake root is basically a poisonous plant used to make narcotic medicines. But it is also believed that this plant has some magical powers. Poet is saying that go and get with child a mandrake root, because this root resembles human body, as you can see in the picture, that this root, it is resembling like a human body, particularly a male child. And it is also believed that when we try to pull out this root, it would scream. So, though this mandrake root appears like a male, but it cannot produce a child. We cannot get a child out of this root. Generally, we find the reference of this root in medieval lore, which grows under hanged. To get with child a mandrake root, this was the second impossible task. Then the poet talks about the third impossible task, that is tell me where all past years are. It is also impossible to tell that where time rolls down, where our past years have gone. Then the poet talks about fourth impossible task, that is or who cleft the devil's foot. This is also a myth that believes that a devil have a cloven foot. A devil had the powers to disguise himself, but he was often identified by his cloven foot. In Indian culture also, we say that a chudel can take any form, any shape, but we can identify if that chudel have twisted or turned legs. Similarly, this is also a myth in the West that a devil have cloven foot. So it is not possible for us to tell that cleft the devil's foot. As you can see in the picture, this picture is just used for your understanding, where you can see that cleft foot of this caricature. Who cleft the devil's foot is still a mystery, one cannot tell that. So this is the fourth impossible task. Then the poet talks about fifth impossible task, that is teach me to hear mermaids singing. Mermaids were half fish and half women, as you can see in the picture. In Greek mythology, it is believed that these mermaids are very beautiful and they are usually found in sea or some water bodies. They used to sit on the rocks in oceans, try to lure the sailors with sweet voices and then kill them. So here through mermaids also, Donne is trying to prove his point that it is impossible to find a woman that is both beautiful and faithful. Because mermaids, they appear beautiful, but they are not faithful. They used to lure the sailors with their sweet voices and then kill them. In line 6, the poet is talking about the next impossible task, that is, off to keep of envy stinging. This line means it is impossible to change human nature so that the envy can't prick man. Stinging means mental pain, keep off means to avoid, and envy is personified here. Personification is used here. As we often discuss about 7 deadly sins, and envy is one out of them. Envy is a negative emotion that one cannot escape out of it. Then the next line, and find a what vintage serves to advance an honest mind. The poet is asking to find the situations or sources of life that can avoid honesty. So through these lines, we can see that poet, he is saying that only dishonest people can do well in life, especially in this world. And the path of honesty is extremely difficult in this materialistic world. So this is 7th impossible task, that is to find circumstances in which honesty can survive. Then the next line, if thou best born to strange sight, things invisible to see, ride 10,000 days a night, till age snow hairs on thee, thou when returns will tell me all strange wonders that befall thee, and swear nowhere lives a woman true and fair. So in this stanza we see that he is telling to his listeners that it doesn't matter where you have seen or where you have traveled, you have never seen a woman who is both beautiful and loyal. So in the line 10, that is, if thou best born to strange sight, means the poet is asking to the boy, young man, if he is born with some magical powers who can see invisible things, then only he can go to find such a woman who is both beautiful and fair, that is both beautiful and faithful. In this line, the phrase strange sights, it refers to some magical or exceptional incidences which are not likely to be seen by normal men with naked eyes. Then in the line, ride 10,000 days a night, hyperbole is used in this line. Through this line, the poet is asking the young man to go on a long journey for 10,000 days and nights and walk around the world to find a perfect lady. Then the poet says, till age snow hairs on thee, though when return will tell me. Means if the young boy go out on a long journey for 10,000 days and night, that young man will grow old till he completes his journey during this period. And then the poet asking, thou when returns will tell me all strange wonders that befall thee, and swear nowhere lives a woman true and fair. Means the poet is saying that he will grow old, but he will never be able to find a constant lady in love. The poet says that when you return from your journey, you come across a lot of wonders during his journey and you get a lot of experience, but you swear that you have never saw a lady anywhere who is both fair and beautiful. Fair and true means beautiful and faithful. Then the next line that reads like, if thou find one, let me know. So here the speaker is asking the young man if he has found one such lady who is both true means faithful and fair means beautiful, then tell him. He shows a keen urge to meet the lady. Then the poet says, such a pilgrimage were sweet, means the speaker says that he would like to go and visit the lady, whether it would be as difficult visit as a pilgrimage. Is such a woman who is both fair and faithful would be worthy of worship. Then the poet writes, yet do not, I would not go, though at next door we might meet. Though she were true when you meet her, and last, till you write a letter, yet she will be false ere I come to 2 or 3. So in these lines we see that the speaker is saying that he would not like to meet or take risk to meet her even if she used to live next to his house. He says that the lady might be faithful at a first meeting, means when the young boy will meet that lady must be faithful at that time. But no sooner does he informs the speaker through letter that she proves to be false. Means जब तक वो young boy speaker को बताएगा that yes I have found the true lady, उसी दौरान that lady will turn out false. Means तब तक वो अपने 2 या 3 और दोस्त बना चुकी होगी. So through this line we see that how Donne is so misogynist, where he misses no chance to prove the fickleness, that instability of a fair woman. And also through these lines we see that the consistency of a fair woman is very short-lived. And in the line false ere I come to 2 or 3. So we see that he has not counted 1, he directly jumped down to 2 or 3. which signifies that it is obviously out of question that a woman could have one friend at one point of time. So that was all about this poem. I hope you liked my video. If you like, then kindly subscribe, like, comment and share. Thank you.